Good afternoon everyone, welcome to the ABB Formulary FIA World Championship Press Conference for the 2021 Heineken London E-Prix. We have with us this afternoon our race winner Jake Dennis for BMW I Andretti Motorsport. Second is Nyck de Vries from Mercedes EQ, and completing our podium this afternoon is Mahindra Racing's Alex Lynn. Welcome gents. Jake will dive straight in with you as our race winner. Fantastic result that propels you right the way up into second in the points. Also a home win, so is there quite a big mix of emotions going on for you just now?
Yeah, it's just high emotions, there's no mixed. Super happy. I really didn't know what to expect going into the race. It's a little bit different than normal, with not really much energy saving going on. So yeah, it was just obviously intense battle with Alex, putting him under pressure. I could see that we had quite a bit more pace than Boemi, we sort of just ran away with it. And then I didn't know if Alex was just sort of saving energy or saving tyres or generally just struggling a little bit compared to us at that stage of the race. So we took the risk on the second strategy to stay out in front. I knew I could keep him behind, but I just didn't know if it would work out better or not. Luckily he made a small mistake at turn 10, so then it was just about 3 qualifying laps, everything that we could to pull the 2-second gap. And then it was just bring it home when we got the lead.
That second attack mode, I was listening to your team radio and there was a yellow flag, and so your attack mode was on again, it was off again, then it was back on again.
Yeah,
so talk us through that, because it really sort of split your strategy from there on.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so I think from turns 15 to turn 16, which was like 50 metres, we decided to go attack about 5 times, and we were like, yes, no, yes, no, yes, no. So we decided not, obviously, to use that yellow flag, but we could have played it safe and just taken the second attack when Alex did. But because I felt like I had a pace advantage, we thought we may as well risk it slightly. The only risk was just a safety car or something like that, but thankfully it never came, and we pulled the gap to create that 1.3 second gap, whatever it is. So yeah, super happy.
And a few moments at the end about vibration, but the pace didn't really seem to drop off. So again, what was going on in the car? What were you feeling?
Yeah, we just had really severe vibration on the right rear. It was quite bad. So I was generally just not really taking any curb, just making sure to bring it home. And the last couple of laps, I pushed a little bit harder, just to see where the pace was at. We went like 7 tenths quicker immediately. So I think we have a really strong car, but it's just we just need to try and get to the bottom of the vibration issue we had. It was probably the last 15 laps of the race, so I knew I could bring it home. It was just if the right rear would hold on, or some bodywork damage or something like this was just ticking over in about the back of my mind. And thankfully she held on, but we need to strip it down tonight for sure.
It was fantastically well managed. Congratulations, Jake. Over to you, Nyck. You were super fast today, and you were gaining 7 places on the track where we were all told that overtaking wasn't going to happen. So how did you manage it?
I think the inherent pace of the package today was obviously very helpful. Then we had a good strategy, and we were a little bit lucky to jump some cars when we decided to stay out longer, and Andre missed his attack mode, so I managed to take him, and then there was a bit of a compression behind him. So I think some kind of key moments in the race gave us a bit of a breather, and at the same time we were very quick. So then I managed to just close the gaps and managed to get past Seb in turn 10, which wasn't easy. And then later in the race, I think Alex didn't make it too difficult, because I guess at that point we were a little bit quicker, and he was settling for third. So yeah, very, very pleased to come back after a bit of a difficult run. Unfortunately tomorrow probably won't be much easier.
Talk us through a bit more of those moves on turn 10. Late on approach, you seemed sort of really happy there, but I suppose there must be an element of putting faith in other drivers when you're sort of so limited on steering lock.
Yes, I mean, I think whenever you see someone in your mirrors going for it, you just can't turn in. So yeah, it certainly does require respect from both parties.
And we know it's been sort of a difficult few races for Mercedes EQ, but you stopped that run in its track state, more points for Stoffel as well. What's changed? What have you addressed? What came together today?
I think nothing is different. We approach every weekend the same, and we always turn up best prepared possible. I do believe that in New York we were probably not as competitive as we would have liked and expected to be. However, I think in Puebla we definitely had a strong package too. But you know, given this format, I mean, look at the championship standings, how up and down everything goes. I mean, it's just unpredictable. I mean, it says on all the publicity banners, world's most unpredictable, what is it, championship of sport. Well, we're in it, and we are hating and loving it all the time. So yeah, hopefully we get the time a little bit right for the end of the season. But the chances are likely that we drop out of Group 1 again tomorrow.
Thank you, Nyck, and congratulations on second place. Alex, over to you, third for Mahindra Racing. You know, a great podium, a friendly crowd. How does it feel?
Honestly, it feels really good. I think I was super happy with the pole position this morning. The car's been on rails for one lap pace all season, but specifically today and yesterday evening as well. So from that side, I felt super comfortable that if I did just the lap I knew I could do, they would be there or thereabouts in quali. And then in the race, I think it's no secret that we aren't the fastest package in the race. We tend to destroy our tyres a lot more than most. So from that side, I was dreaming of the win when I made a good start and kept Jake behind. We were pulling a gap to the guys behind. I thought maybe, just maybe. But at a certain point, when I took my second attack, I saw the pace that Jake was able to unleash when I was sat behind him. So at that point, I knew it was going to be difficult to try and get back past him. And then, yeah, like Nyck mentioned, he had extremely strong pace. So at the end of the day, P3 I knew was going to be a very good result for us and where we are right now. So I took that.
When you're leading Jake early on, like you say, you had that gap. How much of a conversation are you having with the team about bolting into a 3-second lead when you could have a full course yellow safety car that changes the race completely?
Yeah, to be fair, it's never really the smartest option, really. Once I knew that Jake was happy to sit there for a minute, I was happy to let him do that and save energy on what my target was telling me. So at that point, yeah, it's very relaxed. You know that around the attack modes, that's when it's going to start to kick off, and that's when you need to start hitting fast lap times. But from my side, I was very relaxed to lead the race at the start.
And then you had the lock-up at turn 10. How did that affect things, obviously in the moment, but also as the race wore on in terms of balance and your grip?
To be fair, it didn't change anything for me. I think the result would have been the same either way. But that was the result of me trying really hard to stay within range of Jake, to not give him a free pass to take attack. I honestly feel like I drove 33 laps of qualifying today and maximised everything my car had.
Thank you very much, Alex, and congratulations again. We're going to hand over to some questions from the virtual media centre. I'm going to start a question from Edgardo from graining.es to Jake. In case you had been overtaken by Alex after activating your second attack mode, would you have been able to regain the lead of the race, do you think?
I think we would have had the pace to. It's just, the risk versus reward, it's obviously can be done. Nyck's done it, but I think you just need to have mutual respect between the two drivers. Like Nyck said, you can't just send it, and if the other driver doesn't give you any space, you will crash. So it's a two-way thing. It would have depended on the situation. I would have needed something from Lynn at turn 9 to be able to get the overtake in turn 10. But we clearly would have had the pace. It's just if you take the risk versus reward. Obviously, everyone wants to win, but when all three drivers are in the podium position, you also need to respect the manufacturer and also bring it home with four wheels.
Thanks, Jake. And a couple of questions along the same thing here for you, Nyck. One from Pit Lane Motor, one from Toby Bloom from eFormel.de. Along the lines of, would you say Mercedes is back in the title hunt after today's comeback drive?
I don't really get why people, I guess that's the media, how they speculate and talk when we do bad and when we do better. But I think it's just the nature of this championship. And of course, in New York, we as a team were not strong enough. We acknowledge that and we admit it. But ultimately, I think over the whole season, we've had a very strong package, and things out of control sometimes played in our hands or didn't play in our hands. And if you look at how the championship goes up and down, I can't have any kind of predictions going forward. I mean, as I said, it's very likely that tomorrow we are out of Group 1 again, and then in Berlin, going into the last races, we probably go into Berlin 1 in Group 2, and then, yeah, hopefully we get the timing a little bit right, but you just never know.
Thanks, Nick. We're going to open straight up to some questions here on the floor. If you'd like to raise your hand.
Simon Smith, Downforce Radio. Question for Jake. The win today puts you into second in the championship, which means tomorrow you're both in Group 1 in qualifying. With what we saw today, a few of the drivers saying that group qualifying might not have as much of an effect in terms of the track evolution, and with potentially similar qualifying conditions tomorrow, it might be more the same as well. So what's your mindset knowing that you're going to go for Group 1 tomorrow?
I'm excited for it. You know, I actually do think the conditions, if it's fully dry, Group 1 won't be at too much of a disadvantage. You know, there was about half a second jump from Group 2 to Group 3 today, and that was with a drying track. So I really don't think we'll see big 3, 4, 5 temps jump like we do at some circuits. So I think it's not an advantage for sure, but it's definitely not as a big as disadvantage as some people might think. So,
How many times do you
well, none.
No, exactly.
No, but there's clearly normally a disadvantage, but I think at this track it doesn't seem as bad as usual for sure. It's not really as good as Group 4, but well, it is what it is, and it's part of the championship, and we're just going to tackle it head on.
Any more questions?
Hi, Jack Jordan Maynard, formerly E-Zone. Just a quick question on energy management. Obviously, we had 8 minutes of attack mode today, and before the event, people were thinking that we weren't going to have too much issues on energy. Most drivers ended on 1%. I think Norman Nato didn't even finish the race because of energy management. Was that a surprise? And do you think the FIA could be a bit more aggressive with attack mode going into tomorrow? Maybe having it 10 minutes rather than 8?
It's not the attack mode. They just need to reduce the total energy. Of course, they were trying to create more energy management by introducing a longer attack mode, but that doesn't necessarily introduce a higher energy consumption. They just need to reduce the total amount of energy, and then you obviously bring down the target for every lap, and then you will have more energy management. But how it was today, it was very minimal energy management.
I enjoyed it though.
Yeah, I enjoyed the less energy saving.
No, but I genuinely thought it was good. Maybe if you start 15th, it's not so good, but when you're at the front, just to drive flat out, I quite enjoyed it.
Only 1 minute at 2:35 would be fine for me.
So just
My rear tyres would like it.
Just to add to my point, do you think then the FIA could be a bit more aggressive tomorrow? Could they do something to make it more of an energy management race?
They could do whatever.
Yeah, definitely. Like, normally we're obviously massively energy limited, and this weekend we're not. Obviously we're still going to finish at 0% or 1% because we're pushing everything to the limit, but it's, whatever they do, I don't really care, but they can obviously make it more aggressive and they can make it less aggressive, but it's up to them.
Thank you. Another question?
Drake, did you ever expect to be second in the championship with 3 races to go in only your first full race season?
Definitely not. After Saudi, it was a bit of an eye-opener of the level and obviously the nature of the championship, just how difficult it is to put one lap in qualifying when you only really have one proper stab at it in free practice. So that was one of the most challenging things. I think I've started to get my head around it now, and we're obviously generally pretty consistent in qualifying. But yeah, someone said to me I'm going to be second in the championship. You take it with both hands. So it's a nice surprise, but I think we do deserve it. I think we've always had 2 wins now. We've had a few top 5, so we performed well, but we just need to now build in some consistency in these last 3 races. We don't need to hunt for wins because it's always going to be difficult coming from Group 1. But yeah, we just need to put in performances like Nyck did today, where you can come from 8th, 9th, 10th and score top 5s.
Thanks very much, gents. Congratulations to all of you. We're now going to head out.